And now, welcome back everybody. Today we are going to be taking my PlayStation 5 controller, the very standard white edition controller that the PlayStation 5 comes with, and we are going to be taking it apart and putting a new shell on it. Now, with the upcoming Resident Evil 4 remake, I was kind of searching through how to kind of really spice this thing up and came across a brand called eXtremeRate. And eXtremeRate makes lots of different shells for lots of different types of products and lots of different controllers. Even the PlayStation 5 has like these the panel shells. You can buy them in different colors from them for much cheaper than PlayStation offers them. The problem that I'm finding with eXtremeRate is that they sell all of their products individually. So here we have two orders. One is a back panel and one is the front face of the PlayStation 5 controller. I think they do sell combination packages with buttons and stuff like that, but today I wanted to make kind of a special controller, and with these two together we are going to make something for the new Resident Evil 4 remake coming out. It's not exactly a cheap product for just a shell, but I think it's going to be a really nice kind of facelift to the bright white that they made. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment for more. So thanks very much for watching. This is the stock white PlayStation 5 controller, and those are the eXtremeRate boxes with the product within them. So we've got some pretty bad news actually. The controller didn't break, but the file corrupted actually. As you can see there, for my video file. This is how beautiful the controller ended up looking in the end. I love how this thing turned out. It's just such a shame. Hey everybody, and this is the completed Resident Evil shell mod controller in the two different pieces. I have some very unfortunate news though. The recording that I have of putting this controller together completely corrupted during the recording. There was a moment that I did not plug my laptop in, and it went into low power mode and ended up corrupting the file. I am not very happy about it. I have a few shots and a few pictures that I have as I was rebuilding it, but I do have some tips and tricks to go along with this build. There's some parts on it that I think you'd need to know beforehand before cracking this thing open. You can go watch some videos, but I think I'm going to help detail some of it now. Well, learning that the file of this thing being built and taken apart is pretty upsetting, but all in all, how it turned out at the end, I am extremely happy with it. The grip on the back is actually really nice. It's I didn't think I was gonna like it, but it's got this nice bit of firm grip to it. But all in all, this controller looks and feels amazing, and I think it is way better than the stock white one that PlayStation gives you. So sorry that this video did not turn out the way that I thought, but thanks for tuning in. So here are a few of my tips when it came to reconstructing this controller here. Now, where I said with the reconstruction part of doing the trigger spring within the PlayStation 5 right hand, the R2 trigger, the one that broke on me, I said that a plastic widget of some kind would be perfect to go in there, and the company that made the controllers actually sends you a perfect Phillips head screwdriver for the screws that go into the controller, and they also give you the little plastic widget that I was talking about. Now this goes perfectly within the grooves of the controller to help pop it out and lets you really seat into the controller without breaking it. Again, it's made of a thinner plastic. It's tough and rigid, but it's thin enough to be able to get into the sides and pop it open without breaking anything within it. There is, what was there, 5 ribbon cables. There's 2 for, one for a like a pickup microphone, one for an exterior type microphone, each one on the left and the right hand side for the the giant pull trigger motors. And then there's one that goes to this face sensor part of the controller, which is the next part that I'm going to get into. I couldn't really tell at some points if there was, if you know about circuit boards and the way that sometimes ribbon cables go into the little slots, like the little parts that they go into, sometimes there's little side panels that need to slide up for the ribbon cable to come out. I couldn't really find much information on that and kind of went for it. All of 5 of the ribbon cables do just pull out of their sockets. You can just grab them and pull out. There's none of those little prongs. Feel free to just give them a good tug. I'd say for the shoulder motor cables, to wiggle them kind of like one edge up at a time, so go left and right and kind of wiggle them out of place. They are the longer, bulkier ones, and they are on the left and right hand side of the controller motherboard. The other part that really gave me trouble was the last one, this one here. So this one is on the other side of this. Now mine is removed and put into the other controller, but on the other side of the panel is the motherboard, or the little board that allows the button to click from this side into the function part of the board. This will house the actual board on it, but the thing is, it is glued on. You are going to need a heat gun or a hair dryer and use this little pick to get the circuit board glue off the back of this panel. You're going to need to work around it and heat it up for a certain amount of time. I'd say I heated mine up with a hairdryer for about a minute or 2 before I could finally start getting under it and cracking it. There is nothing holding it underneath other than that, so feel free to kind of slowly edge your way around and finally crack it out. Once it is out, it sits in the other part perfect, so that was really good. And just managing the ribbon cable back through is a little bit of a challenge because you're trying to work with the circuit board. The two large motors on either side are so big for the pull triggers that they're actually decently heavy compared to almost any other controller I've worked with, because they're the haptic feedback. They're large bulky motors. On top of that, I have to give the packaging, the amount of hardware that this company gives you, an A+. It gave me every single screw that I needed as a replacement piece to the controller to rebuild it. On top of that, they also provided, like I said, one of these little picks and a screwdriver with each component of the controller, whether you're doing just a face panel or you're doing a back panel, because like I said before, each one is sold separately. Whether you're ordering one or the other, it comes complete with all the things that you'll need to fully take the controller apart and the screws to put them back together. Again, the packaging was really good. Everything was bubble wrapped. Everything was also put in a clear casing as well with like a wrap. So I gotta give it a 10 out of 10. I love the presentation of this controller. I think it's gonna be a one-of-a-kind type of item. It's really gonna be like a showpiece to go off into the game room. And I do own the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller, so it kind of just, it's gonna fit with the theme of these types of controllers. Everything was functional. It's not super hard if you know what you're doing and you've done a couple of older controllers before. It's just a little bit stressful because of the weight, and you don't want to pull any of the power and the negative cords off of those big motors. All in all, I'm very happy with this purchase. I'm very, very happy with how it's turned out. I think it looks great. It's kind of just a one-of-a-kind piece, and yeah, the company's really good. It was a one-day shipping on Amazon. I'll leave the links below. But if you like this video, and I'm very sorry that the video file corrupted, but if you like this video, just give it a like, comment, subscribe, continue watching, and I'll produce more content like this. Thank you very much.